Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another Nikke video, and today we're going to be looking at the next part 2, part 1 of 2, I don't know what you want to call it, but let's just say part 2, Neon Blue Ocean. So Neon is getting an SSR version, the first of this game. So she's a burst 3, so if you're already familiar with my reviews, I'm much more strict on burst 3 characters because they're harder to replace because you're pulling for burst 3s to last for a long time. Modernia, Helm, Privateer, Drake, and the list goes on. You know, a lot of other, yeah. So I'm gonna be a lot more strict on burst 3s. So already she's a machine gun unit, so that's okay in some instances, not okay in some other instances, but it is what it is. But okay, let's look at her skills. Okay, so effect changes according to the number of activation types. Previous trigger repeatedly, and then if you get it 3 times, then it does all the other times right away. They stack. I'm assuming it's just because it says it triggers repeatedly, so you get all 3 of them if you do it 3 times. Okay. So against like Nilister, we'll be talking about very soon here. Nilister would be very good against Nilister. Or I don't know if the train is fire, but maybe it is. It'd be good against, if the train is fire, then it'd be good against the train too. And then the second one, effect changes, and then you're doing damage with strong elements, so if they're weak against water, then you'll do more damage. It seems very straightforward so far, nothing really too extravagant. And then effects of change weapon and use. I'm not sure what this means. I'm assuming it's just that for a short time you get a different kind of weapon, I guess. And then damage, 11% of final attack. So what final means, damage of skills worth word final are calculated based on your stats, equipment, and so you want to get their max of everything before you use her properly, which means her affection level and the equipment. So she takes a lot. She looks like she needs a lot to get going, and only for 7 seconds. And then activates when the target belongs to fire code, and you deal 11% of final as additional damage. So you're getting a bit more there, 22% in total. I'm gonna be honest, dude, guys. I'm not really that impressed in terms of burst 3. I'm not really that impressed overall compared to all this stuff. The first 2 things just seem like a generic damage dealer, which is fine, but you need to fight fire enemies pretty much only, and you gotta invest a lot to get a burst 3 being really strong. So you'd have to pull a lot of her, and since she's limited time, that's already kind of not looking too good for her. I don't think this is a good pull. There could be a crazy thing where she's like really good, but by the way, I don't. This is just a shirt that I have. I'm not a part of this company. Just wanted to get that out there. Anyways, I'm not really impressed, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys find out something about this kit that's more impressive. Like maybe the change of weapons seems like it might be good or something, because let's see what maybe they'll show you on the preview screen. Maybe it'll be something interesting. Let's see what happens. Okay, so she gets like changes to like a rocket launcher. Basically, when she uses her special, she becomes like a rocket launcher with an AoE damage. I guess that's okay. I don't think it's that crazy. I think it's just pretty good, but not like these are really weak mobs, by the way. There's no way you're not going to be one-shotting every single thing against harder enemies and tower and stuff. But okay, so she basically changes her weapon to like a rocket launcher. For 7 seconds, she gets a rocket launcher instead of a machine gun. Okay. Am I supposed to be impressed by that? Not really. It's not really impressing me much. So you gotta fight fire enemies to get the maximum damage. Thankfully, at least this part isn't really subject to that, but this is. So you're basically only fighting fire enemies with her, and I hate that you have to because there's a lot. Remember, there's a lot of burst 3s out there that are not restricted to certain elements that you can only bring. You can only fight against this or that. Like Modernia is like the best example. She's like the premier burst 3 character still, and so yeah, I'm not really. I don't know. Against fire enemies, she was gonna probably get a pretty good score of like 8.5, see maybe even a 9. If you're fighting a fire enemy. If you're not fighting a fire enemy, then there's not even a point to bringing her, because she's not gonna. Her second skill's not gonna work, and you lose 11% damage on the third skill, the burst. The only thing you would get is this top part, because it doesn't require any elements. That's it. So if you're not fighting a fire enemy, then it's gonna be like a 6 out of 10. She's heavily restricted, and I don't know why. Why couldn't they have just made her a really strong damage dealer without having to tie her to anything specific, like fire enemies or anything like that? It would have been a lot better. Because, okay, let's say for example, this stays. That's, you're losing 11% damage. Let's just say that this is something else completely, instead of this being damage a strong element. Just let's say this is something completely different that's doing damage. She'd be a lot better, because you'd only be losing a little bit of damage there on that, not a little bit, but you know what I mean. Like, you'd only be losing some damage there on the burst skill, but you'd still have the skill 1 and 2 that would not have you restricted anything. So I think that's how that should have been, but it's not. So I feel like this is not a good pull. If you're saving for Nier, you should not have pulled on the first part. You should not pull on the second part either. So normally this is the part of the video where I would say, hey, I'm gonna do some pulls, but once again, I just think this is not a good pull. I was actually looking forward to seeing what Neon was gonna be like, because I thought she was gonna be the better pull, but neither of them are good. Neither of them are the good pull. So you really shouldn't pull for either of these, which is surprising, because normally, like, these limited time summer characters in gacha games are usually the top tier stuff. And in this game, apparently that's not really the case for the most part. You might see some YouTube videos where they're showing them off and it's really crazy damage against Nillister or something, but not against every boss. And I feel like it's more value to pull for a character that will be good against a lot of bosses. Like Dorothy or Modernia, who are good against multiple SI bosses. So just saying, I don't think you should pull for either. If you're pulling for waifus, I can't really tell you to do one or the other, obviously, but if you're pulling for meta or you're trying to be free to play and not want to pull as much, then you should avoid both of these banners like the plague and just wait for Nier. And if Nier is bad, then you just save for another banner. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. Like, it's not like you're losing something if Nier is bad. I'm pretty sure they won't, because I'm pretty sure they're banking on that to be actually good, just like how in Brave Exvius they banked on the Nier collab to hold them over for a long time. So they're gonna make the Nier units good in this game, I'm pretty sure, because there would be no point. What would be the point of paying the developers for Nier to make units in this game to make them bad? It just doesn't make any sense to me, because not everybody's gonna pull for nostalgia or just because they like Nier Automata. Some people will pull for both, like if they're a good unit and if it's Nier. So with that being said, guys, thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate you, and I'll hope to see you in the very next video and in the comment section down below. Hopefully, I'll see you later. Peace.